Good evening everyone, I'm Clark and you're watching Puka GT. So here we are on Sunday, last day at Sardegna in Daily Race B. Now unfortunately for me, this hasn't been my busiest week of racing, obviously, as I'm sure with most of you. Christmas commitments have kind of taken hold. There've been some social events, running around to get presents for the kids, that has kind of eaten into the regular amount of Gran Turismo competitive online time I'd have this week. So this is essentially my third and a half day of racing that I'll be doing today to close out the week. I've had mixed results. I started the week very strong by getting a good quali time after putting in a 2-hour session. Just racing around, finding my line, following ghosts, and ended up way ahead of the pack. Record number of pole positions for a week, I'd even say, but I was really struggling to convert any of those into wins. In fact, I didn't win a single race. Number of seconds, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. So hoping to turn around some of that tonight now. I'm not expecting a win. I haven't really played since Thursday morning, where I had a very short session, and my last long session was Wednesday evening. So I would say the track has probably gotten more competitive since, probably less likely to end up on pole, and I'm probably going to have tighter competition midfield. So realistically, all I'm aiming for tonight now is a bunch of consistent top 5, top 8, improve my DOR rating kind of races and go from there. Now, where I left it after Thursday's session, I'll just swap to my main feed here. I'm not too far off B rank at this point, so that's my main goal now for today. Just a couple of solid races, get back into B rank. But we will have to see what we're up against once we go into Daily Race B. So as you can see there, I'm about 80-85% up on the driver rating for the C rank. I have S completely maxed out. Not a lot of incidents in this race, so I think I can hang on to that as long as I'm careful. And yeah, just have to see what happens. I reckon I will probably get up there with about 5 to 7 top 5 finishes, depending on where I rank in those top 5. But with that, what we are going to do before we jump in today, as always, I'm not going to join this next race in a minute and 40 seconds. Need some time to get warmed up, so I'm going to go and do about a 20 or so minute qualifying session and then join the race at 10 to 9 Irish time. Let me just open my chat window here for when people start to join. Oh, and we already have Luke in the chat. Hey mate, how are you doing? I'm doing great, Luke. How are you? Sorry I haven't been on much this week. It's some water into me system. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into our quali here. Just try to get a bunch of kind of solid times in. Be happy with anything kind of under 144, anything in that 143 range. If we can get consistent kind of times with that, I reckon that will leave me competitive enough for tonight. Sorry if I didn't see your message right away there, Luke. I was just giving my intro to the void. How are you getting on, mate? I take it are you racing today? Oh wow, and if you take a look at the screen here, you will see our pal Hugo has massively improved his time. He was really struggling to get into the 142s earlier in the week, and last we saw him on Wednesday, I think he was at 142.8, and now he has the fastest time on the board, 142.014. No problem, says Luke. Bit later with the racing. Remind me, Luke, what's your username here? How are you getting on with your own quali time? There's a few lads I was chatting to on the last session, and they all had different YouTube names and PSN names and driver names in Gran Turismo, so I kind of lost track of some of who was who. Apologies. But yeah, Luke, tell me who you are on the board there. I'll check out your time. And I'm going to go without a ghost today, just because I don't want to fall into the trap of following it and then feeling lost once the actual race starts. So the main thing I'm looking for here is to just be really tight in the corners as I warm up into it. Grease Monkey. Ah, so that was you I saw briefly on Thursday then, Luke. Yeah, of course. I logged on for a quick session on Thursday, had about 4 or 5 races but wasn't streaming, just had a small gap in the day to give things a try, and Luke was in the same lobby as me a few times. Damn, tight on this corner. You improved on your time, nice one. Okay, need to keep my eyes on the road here. Nice and tight there. Need to improve my speed a bit. Probably get a bit tighter there. Oh, I tell you, I feel rusty today. It's been a while since I've had a 3 or 4 day long gap without playing this game. Need to tighten up that last corner a lot. Yeah, that was good and tight there. This is the big one. Okay, that needs to be a good bit tighter. So new message in from Luke. So you were in the 143s, now in at 142. Nice one. And you got your first place finish last night. Nice one, Luke. That's a big deal. I remember before I got my own first place finish, like any time I'd get into the lead position in a race, my heart would be pounding. I'd be so nervous about throwing it, and then most of the time I did. It was a good bit of a grind to actually get to my first win. I think I was probably about 50 or 60 races in before it happened for me, and then that week I ended up getting about 3 or 4 of them. But even still, they're quite rare. I think I've only, in almost 300 races now, I've only had about 8 wins, I think. But yeah, congrats again, Luke. That's a huge milestone. Okay. Too much speed there. Alright, try non-push one here. Just tighten corners, see how I do. Yeah, you really can't get very close there. Most important corner on the race, that one, because it leads into the longest straight. It's very, very easy to get wrong. Okay, I'll shift down to first there next time. Yeah, I always like to experiment a bit in my first few laps. Yeah, need to slow the car down more there. This is another crucial one here. And nice and tight, there we go. That's the line, alright. Okay, now get really tight here. Yeah, no, that needs to be way tighter. I need to brake earlier. Okay, and again, really tight here. Just tight, but too slow. Also needs to be tighter. Okay. Could be worse. Thanks for joining the stream again, Luke. Always great to see people coming back. So 144, that's about what I'd expect from that lap. A lot of room for improvement. So down to first here, up to second, power out. Yeah, and you can see the difference that's made already. I'll be up half a second by the next turn. Always have to be so careful not to spin out in that corner. It was a bit worse in that corner than last time. I think the line was okay, I just slowed the car a bit too much. Okay, brake earlier here. Oh, that was way too early by the feel of it. But look at the amount of time we got. Slow in, fast out. And that felt a bit better too. And much tighter here. Yeah, now that needs to be tighter. I'm not sure if I should brake earlier or angle the car in towards the corner a bit more. Okay, and we'll pop into the main lobby there. New message from Luke. No problem with joining the stream. Some of the words you have said to me has inspired me. Thank you. Oh, cheers, dude. That means a lot. Not sure what I said. I do say a lot of words in the space of 4 hours, but I'm glad something reached you. So there you are, Luke. Yeah, you're not far behind us at all. I see you there at 142.971. Where are you? Still in the C lobbies, I take it. Oh, you're up to B. Nice one, man. Where's that time have you qualifying in B, I wonder? I think I was only in the B lobby for about 3 races in this daily race at the start of the week before I dropped down. $20.50 gives us another 12 minutes of qualifying here. So you got to the B last night, Luke. Well done. I dropped out of B, as I mentioned, at the start of the week, but the week before was the first ever time I've actually reached the B rank. But I have to say, I've been putting in the hours a lot over the last 2-3 weeks, and like I'm driving at a much better standard than I did at even say this time last month. Whereas before I would struggle to stay in C, it's now I'm kind of more consistently closer to the top of C, fighting for a place in B at the moment, which is a fairly big step up from where I was. Nice slip angle there, but didn't slow the car enough. So Luke with the message puts you around 10th on the grid with the 142.9. Yeah, no, that's still decent. Have you found the standard in B to be a lot higher, Luke? We'll brake a bit earlier here. Nice and tight on this. No, not tight enough. I'll be overextended on the throttle. to be faster on the throttle there. Genuinely find there is such a steep chasm in this game between knowing what you're meant to do and being able to do it. Unless you're one of those more naturally talented players, but I am definitely not in that category. Never been with anything really. Gotten good at plenty of things in my life, but I've always had to work hard at it. Let's get it tighter now. Okay, brake a little earlier. Yeah, that will have saved me a good bit of time there. It does feel like I'm slowing the car too much, but just even being able to go that much tighter on the corner and hit the throttle earlier is going to stand to me on the straight here. Should be on the 143-ish. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can take a second off this now. I just clipped aside that sausage curb there, it always unsettles the car. Wasn't expecting to hit the wall there. Earlier. Yeah, too tight, obviously. Really need to be accelerating on the apex there. Okay. So, the message from Luke, no, funny enough, more trading paint, you get hit more in the B rating. Yeah, funny enough, you're not the first person to say that to me this week. Hugo in the chat last time was saying he was having the same experience. I actually find that I have way more incidents based on the pace in the lobby. It's nothing to do with clean or dirty driving. It's just if the driver behind me has a clear pace advantage, my likelihood of having an incident is way higher. And I have, no matter what I do, I am average, says Luke. Gran Turismo, you mean, I take it? Yeah. King of average. Born to runner-up myself. But I love the challenge of trying to get good at something that I'm not good at yet. I actually find the more challenging I find something, the more I'm drawn to it. So coast, I felt pretty good. Might have dropped my speed a tiny bit more than I should have. Need to remember to coast a bit. Yeah, just get that little bit extra rotation when you coast. Okay, that was a good first couple of sectors. That was nice. It's all about this last one now. It could just be a little bit tighter. It's still good. I think this will be a 143.5-ish. And 43.4, pretty close. There's a 10th. 10th and a half. Good start here. I'll lose time there. I wasn't great in that corner on the last lap either, but it's just not even just missing going that little bit closer, even at the same speed. It does cost you about a 10th along the straight here. That felt very good. But slower than last time, funnily enough. Close, but slower. Oh no, I'm too wide here. That's going to cost me now. Yeah, look down 2 tenths, 3 tenths. We have a little room for improvement here. Yeah, much tighter. Now look at this going into the straight. So yeah, just those 2 tenths on the second last corner there made the difference between this lap and the last. Won't have time for another full lap. Okay. Here we go for first race. How are we doing? Another pole. Nice one. And we have a B rank driver behind us, so that's interesting. Quite a few people in the 142s tonight. Geez, look at that. The top 11 positions all with the time inside the 142 range. Earlier on in the week, top 5 at most. Do our usual shout out. Alright, say a little prayer for me here, Luke. See if I can convert my first pole into a win this week. Be a really nice way to close the week anyway. As I said though, at the start of the stream, more than happy to just slowly grind away at top 5 finishes here and climb my way back into C rank. And historically, my first few races of the evening, as I get used to the pressure again and paying attention to the cars behind me, have never been as strong, so we'll have to see how this goes. Just need to keep a cool head, race my own race, and give plenty of space. Ballycino and the Porsche 911 behind us. Oh, broke too early. Got a little love tap there, understandably. Don't like conceding the inside here, but don't have much of a choice. Give you a bump. Remember, this guy ahead is actually a B rank driver. It's been a bit too wide there. Oh, some cutting on the inside. Ah, come on now. That's a dive bomb when you lose control of the car like that. Okay. Way too wide. Luckily, Marco behind us. Icelandic Marco went off the course. JB ahead of us is in the slipstream of Jason, and we are just out of that range on him. So we need to make sure they don't pull too far ahead here. Actually going wide there isn't going to help us. That will definitely help us. JB went a little wide and we took the corner quite nicely. We need to make sure we nail this one. Felt pretty good. And we are in slipstream. Good. Bit of a battle for first place going on up ahead. Nice and tight here now. That's what we want. Nope, wasn't hard enough on the brake there. Paid the price for it. Yeah, JB has pulled quite far ahead of us now after that mistake. Okay, good and tight here now. Let's recover. Jeez, it's a three-way battle up front now. I think they're weaving, trying to avoid giving each other slipstream. Managed to catch them by about half a second there. The battle might be slowing them down a tiny bit. No. Just a bit too tight there and clipped the grass. Ah, that's heartbreaking. Such a solid race otherwise. Oh, or Atkinson. Remember him from earlier in the week. Mr. Bean himself. Oop, almost made the same mistake again there. So 2 seconds ahead, unless there is an incident ahead of us. We are most likely finishing this one in 10th now. Hey, there we go. Not the ideal start. Could have been worse given the mistake I made, but raced solidly for at least 4 laps there. And just because I'm trying to get that bit tighter, a bit faster, fortunately dipped my tires in the grass, spun me. But best to have tried and failed. Congratulate the lads ahead. It's a solid race from the 3 of them. So unfortunately that's going to drop my driver rating down a tiny bit, but not by much. What you think of that one, Luke? Oh yeah, I need to make a point of saving my replays. I would have liked to have seen that overtake again that took me from 3rd to 4th. So I could see, can't remember his name now, coming in very, very quickly on the inside. And I figured if I had defended it, I was going to have a race-ending incident with him just slamming into the back of me. And given the fact that he did actually kind of bump me and go off track and still held a position ahead, I reckon it probably was the right call. But I would be curious to have seen the replay of that one again, as I know, like, there's a lot of times that I find myself just giving away positions instead of fighting people in fear of a race-ending incident. But at the same stage, I think I'm, in the long run, maybe actually finishing a little further down the grid than I should. So yeah, maybe 1 in 5 ruins a race entirely, but without question, I'm giving away tons of positions per race because I'm being a little too soft on the defense. Brakes a bit too early there. Too tight. This will probably be around 44.5. And 44.7, yeah. Fast in, slow out that. New message in from Luke. We'll be racing hopefully later on. Yeah, that'd be great. If I get up to B lobbies, hopefully I'll see you in a few. A nice little bit of teamwork there for a while on Thursday. Couple of bump drafts shared. Yeah. Low 143 there. It's a bit more solid. Serious amount of understeer there. Very nearly lost the rear there. Okay, this is the corner I need to be most careful of. Oh, nice and tight. That was good. So I tried less aggressive braking there and coasting around the corner, but it definitely cost me time. Okay, nice. Ah, Danny Loaf. Met him in quite a few lobbies this week. Say hi to him. Anyone else you recognize? Not sure. Alright, let's see how we do this time. All C rank drivers. All S safety rank as well, that's great. It's rare. This South African chap directly behind me, Patronus, I haven't come across before. So the safety rating is all we have to go on. Danny Loaf, YouTube Puka GT, nice to see you again. Okay. So, we need to remember to brake a little later here at this first turn, given the rolling start. Let's go sometime between the 150. So right here. Oh. Got some rear damage. Yeah, he's feisty behind us. He is feisty. He's gonna go for a move here, I wonder. Yep, he's going for it. Had to compromise my exit a little bit just to give him a tiny bit of space. But luckily we managed to pull ahead. We're actually getting a nice little buffer zone here. Should have been a bit harsher on the brakes there. That's going to cost us going into the straight. But nice though, this is the best kind of position I've been in exiting the first lap. So if we keep a cool head here, we might be in with a good chance, particularly if those two keep battling for second and third. Good and early here. Very nearly lost the rear. Luckily it's not too long to the next corner. We went wide there. Really stand to our favour if we get this next corner good, which we do. Okay, we've run a bit of a gap here. Need to keep a cool head now. Good and early again. Need to be particularly careful here. It's very tight. Much smaller margin for error than the other corners. That went well. Again, nice and tight on this one here. I'm guessing they are starting to battle behind us because I've noticed we've gained a couple tenths there on that lap. We have Danny Loaf, our old friend, in number 2. As you can see, it's Jay Showmaker in number 3, currently has the fastest lap, and by quite a bit. again. Oh, I think I might have slowed the car a bit too much there. Definitely did. Can we hold this? Just need to put in one solid lap here and I think we'll be okay. Let's race our own race. We got away with murder there. Horrible couple of corners. But look, we got Jay Showmaker coming up very close on us here. No idea what to expect from this chap either, but we are going to take the inside and fight for this one. Taking the inside, buddy. And after all that, I missed my braking marker there. It's paying way too much attention to the radar. We threw that one away now. It all came apart for me on lap 4. Great race though. Really enjoyed it. Tense as it was. Yeah, actually properly went to defend a position there. I was like, you know what, last lap, I've been in the lead the entirety of the race so far. I want to hang on to this. So I got defensive, even at the risk of an incident. And particularly at the risk not knowing Jay Showmaker as well, but knowing they had more pace than me. They had the faster lap during the race. But yeah, just really wanted to try get my first win this week. But that was a fantastic race from the two lads. Make sure to save my replay. Message from Luke, put it behind you, mate. Keep going, doing a good job. Thanks, dude. Appreciate the encouragement. That was a very, very classic case of getting nervous in the lead. Because, like, I'll watch the replay of it, but I'm fairly sure going into lap 4, I had a 2-second advantage. So even if I just raced solidly, not well for those last 2 laps, would have been grand. There was obviously that incident right at the end that allowed the 2 lads to pass me. And yeah, not good. But really for me, I feel the race was lost there in lap 4 before they even caught me. There were 2 corners in particular, I think turns 3 and 4, which I just went too wide on. It slowed the car too much and it just closed that gap right down and allowed them to put pressure on me. Whereas if I had kept it consistent, I would have gone into the final lap with that 2-second cushion, just relaxed into it and finished the race. But not to worry, we will go for it again. I'm actually quite close to C rank by the looks of it now. I reckon probably only got 2 more top 3 finishes in there before I'll get promoted, so hopefully one of those will be a win. Message from Luke, well done mate. Cheers dude. Are you joining in yet? Right on the edge of grip there. Ooh, too wide. Yeah, wasn't happy with that at all. Just need to make sure I stay tight in the corners, ahead of all else. Even if it's slow. That's the kind of muscle memory I need to build up here. Need to tilt the car in a bit there to get the rotation. Brake earlier there. Too tight. New message from Luke. I always end up going down on driving ratings, so we might be racing yet, lol. Yeah, I'll probably end up meeting you somewhere in the middle. I'm about 2 or 3 good races away from going up to B. I think I slipped on the curb there. Note to self, don't do that again. What are you racing on, Luke? Are you on a controller or do you have a wheel setup? Ah, yeah. Treacherous old corner, that one for me. Yeah, good bit of teamwork is always good. Yeah, I hope we get the chance to do that again. First time I handled that corner nice that session. Okay. So we've Patronus behind us again. Skiing Dog OB, fellow Irishman. Or Atkinson back as usual. Don't actually know where Patronus finished in the last race. They did give us quite a strong little bump in the arse on the first corner. Might need to watch out for that. Alright, let's see how we get on here, so. Here we go. I reckon I still broke at the right time last time. No contact this time, that's a good start. I reckon that bump probably actually hurt Patronus's race a little bit last time. God, don't do a zero-sum move like that. You didn't have the line. He's only really hurt his own race with that, to be honest. I didn't do great in that turn there, but I got away with it because Patronus seemed to do it a tiny bit worse than us even. And I know he's under pressure from Skinny Dog and Brian right behind him here, so I might actually be in a good position to pull away here if I keep a cool head. Good and early again. Almost lost the rear. It's gonna hurt, but luckily this is a short stretch. We can pull it back here. Really need to nail these next few corners now. He's going to be right on top of us. Oh, it was too aggressive. Here and that. Oh, we're not out of it yet. He's gone wide. Oh, he's defending. That's okay. A little tighter on that corner, but I had to hold off the throttle to prevent going into his back. I might have to do the same here. We'll see. Similar on that one. This is our best opportunity here. Nice, we have the slip. We'll probably be level with them going into turn one here. We're not gaining as quick as I thought. Still pretty close though. Got Brian right in our tail. This is tense. I like this. Ooh, that went nicely for us. Fair bit of lag. Patronus is kind of jumping around the track a bit. Makes it a little hard to read, particularly if I'm going to go for an overtake soon. Stick to the racing line for this one, but brake a little earlier. I think we might have had a little wall contact there. We have Or Atkinson in third right now. Highest up the grid I've seen him, actually. Alright, let's do this. And we clipped the sausage. He clipped the sausage. That's gonna help. I went a bit wide myself. Yeah, you got about 2/10 out of that. Ooh, warping around the track again. Now, this is the turn that's going to make or break me. No, we're a bit wide. Need to make sure I hang on to second now. Yeah, what can you do? That was a great race. Really enjoyed that one. Just unfortunately, Patronus, he just had a bit more pace than me to begin with, but there was also one specific error I kind of made there in the middle that allowed that overtake. Had that not happened, I might have been able to hold him off, but felt I gave a good account to myself there. No major errors. Stayed solidly behind him, even kind of kept him under pressure for the rest of the race, so I'm happy enough with my pace there in that race. What phenomenal drive from you, man. Send him a congrats, Patronus. How'd our friend OB do? Give him a quick follow. Like following other Irish lads. Don't see too many about. I'll definitely give Patronus a quick follow as well. OB not happy with Pedabo, dirty driver, or Atkinson. Patronus won. We went racing. Yes, we did. Messages from Luke. Knocked on Steam timing. Didn't know I was watching wrong time. Okay, so you were a little bit behind. Yeah, I was wondering that because your response to a bit of teamwork is always good. Was, I think, referring to something I said a few minutes before. Good racing, mate. Good racing. Well done. Cheers, dude. Appreciate it. Are you up to current time right now? I'd asked you at one point there what your setup was, if you're on a controller or wheel, but might have missed you. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, so we pretty much C-bar completely full, so I would say anywhere in the top 5 here will probably pump us up to B again. Cool. Glad to hear you're in the present again, Luke. Controller, nice one. Any ambitions to get a wheel, or are you happy enough with the controller setup for now? I know there are some like competition superstars that are still on controller and insist on it. It's really just a personal preference thing more than anything. Luke says, yep, can't wait to convert, but enjoying the racing. Yeah, too right. I actually felt the very first time that I swapped from controller to wheel, I was playing F1 24 at the time, but my times went way down. It was a whole new kind of learning curve for me. And then when I swapped from my first setup to my second, same deal again. When I got my first load cell brake, same deal again. It's like, it's quite a bit to get used to. Need to slow the car more. I'm really noticing the physics update that prevents you from shifting down too quickly. I clicked to go down to 1 there, but it was too soon. My revs were too high. And Luke, you also play with VR. Interesting. Hugo, who was in the chat with you last time, he plays with VR as well. I have the set. Don't play it when I'm streaming, just because we'd never be able to keep up with the chats. But I also find it a bit limiting for online racing. I don't like not being able to see the intervals to the other cars around me. As much as I love VR, and I find it quite comfortable. Like, I've had a few kind of 2-3 hour sessions in it. Yeah, just that. I just have too many problems with the HUD for the online racing. I have to say though, the level of immersion that you feel when you both the wheel setup and the VR together, it's one of the best gaming experiences I've had in years. To accelerate too early there, I'll lose the rear. Should have time for one decent lap here. This will be a bit of a pace lap I'll go for here now. Right in the limit there. nice. That was a good bit of time there. Right in the limit though, felt the rear start to slip on me. .43.687. Alright, not great. Seconds. New message from Luke. Right, I'm off now, going to get online. Oh, good for you, dude. Hope to see you there. Pop in back for a chat in between if you can. It'll be good to keep track of how we're both doing as the evening goes on. I'll be on for about probably another 2 hours yet myself. Okay, not on pole this time. Patronus behind us again. Mar NB up front. B rank driver. Quite a few B rank drivers in this lobby. Interesting. I always find that tends to happen right before you get promoted. You start getting lobbed in with people who are facing demotion from the lobby above you. Where's nice to see? Right, you made it in time for this one, Luke. Best of luck in your own race. See you on the other side. This could potentially be my last race in the C rank for now. We shall see. Knowing the pace of Patronus behind us and the fact that we're not starting on pole, even the rank without a win is now looking quite likely. Unless this race goes horribly for us, but we don't want that to happen either. Here we go. Giving us some contact in the back then, and again harming their own race a bit. Alright, time to focus on what's ahead. Went a bit in the dirt there. We can handle the corner great ourselves though. So we've effectively got some clean air in front and clean air behind now. Patronus appears to have dropped down to 5th, possibly because of that incident earlier. But we're going wide here. We need to pay a bit more attention to our racing line as opposed to the interval times, or else we will find ourselves hemorrhaging positions in a hurry. A bit of focused racing now for a bit. Give him the inside here if he wants it. Another South African. Fair play. Most likely going to catch Patronus here, but I'm going to give him a bump. Build up a bit of a gap. Okay, we're a little too close. Don't want to be bumping him that close to a turn. Oh, he's gone off. Racing with much pace at the moment. Is okay. Let this chap take the inside here if he wants it. Okay, I'm gonna try and pick up the pace a bit here now. should have about enough of a gap to hang on to our 5th place here, even though I think we are losing about half a second a lap to the chap behind us. Gonna be tight. It's a bit close enough to make a dive on the inside here, so we might actually defend. So watch my braking marker. Should do us. Oop. Give me a little bit of a spin there. Lewis. Oof, yeah. So started the race without any pace there and slipped back a bit, but glad to hold on to 5th there, because the chap behind us definitely had a bit more pace and had closed essentially a 2-second gap to a 0.5 second gap by about halfway through lap 5 there. Thing that saved us was going through the last chicane. We managed to execute that one nice. I think they went a tiny bit wide, and then that gave us a buffer zone then into the second last turn, and then it was just a case of driving it home. But yeah, great race. Definitely quite intense. Okay. Oh, I'm loving the prize bonuses on this. Let's see, who do we have? Jock Warrior. Animals. So where are we? Okay, we're in B. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short 5-minute break now just to get some more water, and then I'm actually going to go practice a bit. I'm going to go and try and improve my consistency and my overall lap time, just even for about 20-30 minutes before actually diving into race B. So I'll live stream that now, just going into quali and seeing how much more I can improve, and then we'll see what we can get out of a couple of B races tonight before calling it quits. Luke, if you are still there, or if you pop back after your first race, let us know how you got on, mate, and I'll chat to you when I return in about 5 minutes. And we are back. So, where did we leave off? Just reached B rank, but our pace isn't there. So, I am going to work on that now. Because they don't give you a lot of B rank to start with. You'll see it here. Tiny sliver. That's probably only about 3 to 5 really bad results away from dropping down. And given that we're kind of, although we're qualifying well in C, we probably won't be qualifying as well anymore. We didn't even fully have the pace in C. So, I'm going to go chasing a ghost here now for about 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to open up the data logger and see what I'm doing wrong. Because earlier on in the week, I was able to get that 1:42.265 time and get consistently enough in the high 1:42s, and I don't think I've got there since Tuesday. So I've clearly picked up some sort of bad habit or forgotten to do something that I had been doing, and I need to refine that now. So that's why we're going to stick with the ghost for a while. So I might just do about 2 or 3 laps here with the ghost. Then I actually kind of want to take a look at its replay as well, come to think of it. Just double check braking points, gears, that sort of thing. We'll be able to infer a lot, like the racing line, actually, just from following the ghost, but still a bit will gain from the replay, no doubt. So I know this French dude, Chaff here, keeps it in 5th. Okay, so we broke way later than him there. Okay. Alright, let's focus on this here now. Just after the first orange part. That looks good. He was a bit faster out than us, a good bit faster. Look at that. It's probably about half a second to be gained there. Thought I had the same line as him there, but it sent us into the dirt. Is he a lot wider than him on that one? Might need to turn in a bit earlier there. Release the brake a bit earlier too. If I remember right, he uses the stop signs at both of those corners as an acceleration marker. Okay, so 145, lots to improve on here. Okay, we're just carrying just that bit too much speed there. It's too heavy on the throttle there. Okay, let's just give this a fresh try again. Okay, I had to lift there. I was going back into the dirt. Okay, this feels like a fairly solid lap. Okay, low 143, that's not too bad. Obviously, full second and a bit off what we were capable of earlier in the week. So let's see what the big differences are here in the data logger, and then we'll check out the shafts replay. Might grab my controller for this. I much prefer navigating the data logger with the DualShock. Data logger. So I'm curious where the biggest time difference lies. And there's the chef. So as you can see, even just starting the lap, I was 1 kilometer an hour slower. Doesn't create much, but we're about 300ths off going into the first turn. Okay, so our brake marker, we're maybe about 1 meter behind him, if even. Fairly identical. And we're actually a little further over. But then we meet in the middle there. Okay. So our lines are close to identical there. And I can see we come off the brakes and coast maybe about 5 or so meters before he does. Here's what I'm struggling to settle though. I wonder. Let's look at this. At the point that we come off the brake, he actually has a little bit more entry speed than us. So we're giving it 100, I'm guessing, percent kind of brake pressure. He might be giving it a little less. I need to check that. What's the best view for this? Throttle. Let's actually just take a look at brake. Yeah, so it's more of a gradual trail off. Whereas for us, it's almost immediate. So you can see it there. We're at 100. We're still at 100 and he's down to 80%. And then by the time we're at 0, he's still at 46. So that makes quite a bit of difference then if we compare that with the actual apex speed. You'll see he's 2 kilometers an hour faster. And I'm guessing he's actually probably way faster on the throttle there. Because look, the gap is relatively similar. He gains about 1/10. But then by the time we reach the next corner, he is next to braking zone anyway. He's about half a second ahead. So yeah, it's more about the throttle on exit is where I can get the biggest gains out of that. So let's see. Change our view again here. Yeah, look at that throttle difference. It's like he just slams to 100%. Whereas for us, there's this semi-start, semi-off, semi-on. So yeah, our throttle out of turn 1. So let's see, where is he? So he's just on the apex, just even a moment before the apex, and he is on it. Whereas we are, look, we're past the corner at the point that we're at 100%. So we need to be at 100% by at least here if we're going to get that half a second back. Okay, braking zone wise. Okay, so we're a little earlier than him here. And as you can see, we go in a bit wider as well. And look at the apex speed difference there. Now, but it looks like we do accelerate sooner. Yeah, quite a bit. But it does give him about 3/10 worth. Getting a good bit more pace there. Gap is up at 1.5 now. He's so far ahead, he's gone there. And again, we're a lot earlier there. A lot earlier even. So we're braking a good bit before the 100 board there. I think he is probably braking bang on the nose of the 100 board. And our speed is almost the same. He's a kilometer faster than me, but he still gets to brake that hard. Let's see what his brake trace is. Interesting. Okay, so for us, it's basically slam on as it is with him, but maybe just go about 10 or so meters earlier. And then look at this, trails off, holds it at 50% and drops it. So where is he at 50%? Okay, so that's at the point that he starts to turn in. So he keeps it at 100, drops it to 50 and turns in. Coasts to the apex. And then I'd say the throttle difference here is going to be mega. Yeah, so he slams on the throttle. It needs to come off a smidge, I'm guessing, just to catch the rear. And then bang on again. So we're a good bit slower, but look at the speed difference then. Like, yeah. Didn't create the world's biggest gap, but it's noticeable. Then again, you see the brake trace with this big gradual thing where he's this small little dab. So this is the fast kind of chicane that we drop down to fourth for. And as you can see, I'm braking a lot earlier than him. So it looks like on this lap, I was hitting the brakes like, yeah, before the bend, whereas I know where he's hitting it. It's just where that little shoulder on the right appears. Cruises off. As you can see, this brings the gap up quite a bit. Now imagine this last part. I'm curious about this last corner. Last big corner, that is. So brakes for longer. Okay. Our entry speed, our lowest speed isn't too far off there. But I'm guessing way faster on the throttle again. Yeah, look at that. So again, with us, gradual. So we actually start to hit it, as you can see there, we're at 3%. He's then at 1, but then he just has this mad ramp up. Again, lifts for a split second to catch the rear and accelerates off, whereas for us it's this more drift onto the throttle, and that's not great. Okay. So stop drifting onto the throttle. It's one of the main things that we can do. It looks like we can get half a second out of the first corner as well. Ooh. So we just need to pause for another quick 5 minutes here. Then we'll do a couple more of these quali laps, and then we will jump back into another race or two before closing out for the evening. Okay, back in 5. And we are back. So, going to our data logger again. We are going to fairly consistently work on turn 1 here. Show one quick time as a refresher. This is what we are looking to change ahead of all else. No more slow trails onto the throttle, smash onto 100%, and see what we can make happen timing wise. So we'll give this about 5 laps here and see how we do. Trailed onto the throttle too there, and even with that I could tell I was going to lose the rear. It's going to take a fair bit of practice. I might be going on the throttle a little early as well. Finish the rotation of the car a little more and then go for it. Tire in the grass there. I don't think it hurt me too much. Definitely pulled ahead a bit, but not crazy. So a little later here at the 100. Yeah, I just couldn't get the gears down fast enough there. Clear areas to improve already, but putting the throttle down fast seems to go okay for me. It's way too wide, way too wide. Yeah, it's spinning out. Yeah, I don't know how to reconcile later braking with keeping a tight line. Need to go down to 1 there. Trailed on the throttle there again. Too greedy. Yeah, it seems I'm better actually just smashing onto the throttle and doing a small 20% lift if I have to. I think it's the trailing is one of the main things that's hurting me right now. Little trail there, but not weighing much. That actually felt like probably the best way I've done that corner yet. It broke a little later too, but it didn't hurt me. Okay, I'm trying to brake as late as him there, but again, sending me wide. I just need to throw the steering wheel in a bit more. I waited a little longer to go on the throttle there, coasted for a moment longer to see if that would make a difference, but still lost the rear. I'm using that stop sign as an acceleration marker now. It's two similar corners I can use that stop sign on. They both have it in a similar spot. Still got a good bit to go, but that felt a bit faster, just given he's not as far ahead as usual. And I'm not trailing on the throttle at all here, just straight down onto it. Do well in that corner there at all. I've actually yet to pick a defined break point for that. I'm more just doing it a moment after the 50. I just slowed the car just a smidge too much there. Lost it. Oh. Doesn't always feel it, but I'd like to think this is progress. Take a few steps back, work on what you're doing. See if extra pace can be found once you perfect the changes. Just about held that, but had to go off a bit. Might be too early on the throttle there. Also need to avoid actually raising the wheels up onto that sausage curb. Keep it in fifth. I'd have trailed a little bit there. No. Of all the corners he brakes late at, that is the one I'm most likely to crash on. What I might do is try update every corner except that one and see what kind of time that gets me, because right now it's just completely ruining my laps, messing that corner up. Okay. I'm really pushing now, which is obviously leading to a lot of errors like that. That is probably the best I've done that corner yet. So I waited to the apex there to go on the throttle, but when I went on it 100%. Missed that one. It's going to cost us a few tenths. I'm going to brake right at the 100 this time. That was good. I felt it was good anyway. Now, won't overdo this one. Be a little tighter there, but that wasn't too bad. I think this might be our first lap today under 143. I think all bar the first corner were relatively good. Yeah, 142.919. Okay, let's hop out here. So that's a huge improvement. Now that's waiting for the apex before hitting the throttle and hitting the throttle at 100% almost every time. If I remember right, I went very wide on the first turn. I don't remember right. I'm slightly off their line, but not by much. What about the braking points? Are we braking similar? Okay, I'm still braking a good bit earlier. I'm guessing he is braking after the final orange marker, and I'm braking just as I hit the first. So we can try that. But we're coming off the brakes at the same point, the same speed. I'm maybe just trailing slightly on the brake. Not really. Interesting. Okay, play this. So if you look at the throttle marker this time, so I'm slower on the throttle, but the big difference you can see here is last time it was a trail up. This time it's just like this chap here. It's pretty much straight to 100. And as you can see, so he is hitting the throttle here. Basically as his wheels touch that inner curb, and he's a bit tighter into it as well. And I am not hitting the throttle until here. So it's minuscule enough, but it makes the difference. If you look at it here, we are almost level. There's just 100th in it. But then by the time we reach the next big braking zone, he is 3/10 ahead. So 3/10 worth of a difference just from that minuscule couple of meters on the throttle and on the brake. But improvements though, because that was a 0.550 difference I think before, and we have it down to, before the next braking zone, only 3/10, so cut it almost in half. Candles in again. Okay, let's watch his replay. Just in case there's any additional info I'm missing. Put the race info on. Here we go. Yeah, as I mentioned, I believe the braking for him happens right as, do you see on the right here with the red and the orange barriers? So I think he is hitting the brake as that second orange barrier leaves his field of view. So let's just skip forward a bit here. Look for some brake lights. Oh, tell a lie. It's the first orange. Okay. So I must be braking even earlier than that. Let's just skip back a bit here. Right before he hits the 100. So it just immediately starts to press the brake there, because you can see, we're not even seeing it yet. There it is at about 10. So a bit of a ramp up on the brake actually. Okay. Drops it down, slams in the throttle right at the apex. Brake marker here, I'm reckoning just past the 50. Let's Change our view again. Okay, maybe even a little later. Let's see what his view looks like from this one. Let's turn one. Okay. Let's just watch the lap out. Just rewind so I can see these bits again. Okay. Third into fourth. So drops down to 2 here, up shifts to 3. Then down to 1. Then up again at 2 on the apex. Fourth. Drops down to 2, accelerates, and the marshals start to lead the center of the screen. Fourth. Okay, revs it quite a bit at fourth. Accelerates once it goes past that stop sign. 107. Nice. What was the steering input there, I wonder? Sounds at about 80% over. Oof. Some lap. So, there's not a huge amount more I can get from it, to be honest. This is like ultimately just a skill issue for me. I can see what he's doing. I just don't have the actual skill to match it yet. But that's what we're going to work on. Just going to turn this one off. And what I will do is I'm actually going to jump into this lobby here. And we'll give it at least one more race tonight, maybe 2, depending on what the energy levels are like at the end of it. And I'm going to load back in as Ghost. Trailing onto the accelerator there again. Need to stop doing that. Yeah, I'm not entering with enough speed, and then I'm hitting the throttle early while I'm still got too much steering input, and it's causing the spin out. Need to make sure I'm actually past the apex of the corner before I hammer down on the throttle. just when you see your car approaching slowly like that, it's difficult to not get greedy or impatient. It's what leads to the most amount of mistakes for me at the moment. Yeah, that was fairly solid. Just not enough entry speed there. I hit the edge of the curb there and settled the car. Caused me to lose a bit of my braking power. Too wide. I probably need to stay on the brake a bit longer there if I'm going to brake a bit later. Okay, slow in, fast out. Slow in, fast out. Too early on the throttle again. Slow in, fast out. I'm going to keep repeating it until my muscle memory catches up. No. I went too wide, too much steering input, hit my acceleration marker, but was still with the wheel in almost full rotation when I did. It's a shame. I think I was in for a good lap there. Even tried the tiny little 20% lift there when I felt the rear going, but wasn't able to catch it again. Okay, this is a little dangerous. I've been doing nothing but pushing for about kind of 20 minutes now. And I'm going into a much higher standard race without any kind of consistency built. So this will most likely not go the way I want. I don't want to be spending all the evening in time trial either. Too wide into the dirt. Break that late. Yeah, that corner is a killer if I go into it wide like that. Lost half a second. Okay. What do we have? Spilt water all over myself there. Okay, top 5 start. That's not too bad. Before you finish first you've to finish. Wise words. Top 3 positions under 142. That's something else. Ranch, I have a feeling I've seen him in the lobby earlier on during the week. Oh, he's very high up B rank now anyway. Now, I remember from earlier on in the week when I was qualifying much lower on the grid, the survival of this first lap is the key to a good race because it does get pretty hectic. A lot of slow corners that result in a punt if you're not careful. Even if you are, sometimes it's just down to how clean the driver behind you wants to be. And of course, if you race too carefully, you end up losing a few positions, and sometimes in a much more congested part of the grid, which isn't ideal either. So need to strike a decent balance here between being defensive but also trying to avoid an incident. So we'll see how we go. To slam on my brakes a little harder there to avoid an incident. Take the inside here. The better line, so gaining quite quickly on us. See how we get on here to make sure we break in enough time. Oh, we got that done nicely. Settle the car just a bit too much going into that. We still have 8th for now. Let's stick with it here. A bit of clean air in front and behind. Just need to keep a cool head now. Was dodgy. Started accelerating way too early there. bit too harsh on the brakes there. Oh, a bit wide, just getting tight. There we go. Need to do better than that though if I don't want to be caught. Which I assure you I don't. That's the best I've done that corner all race. Oh, way too wide. Oh, we might get caught now. We have to be perfect for the rest of the race if we want to hang on to 8th place here. That was nice. It was passable. Still losing a bit of time as KMDJ behind us is in our slipstream. That was our best lap though. Skin of our teeth there. Didn't get tight enough in, which caused us to go a bit wide, but we held it. This is the make or break for us here. Not too bad. Okay. Very happy with that. Points finish. Driver rating increased after that, even if it was minimally. We had a good 2-second buffer now, about halfway through that race from 9th behind us. Just a couple of simple mistakes, nothing too major, just going a little wide. Shaved a half a second here or there, and before we knew it, we were right back in the fight. With 9th place there, KMDJ very, very close on our tail for that final lap. So the pressure was on, but we held it. But as you'll also notice, the gap to 7th just increased massively as the race went on. I have noticed sometimes when cars are in a pack, they do tend to pull ahead a bit in this race, but not by 4.5 seconds. So yeah, I'm definitely lacking in pace compared to the rest of this lobby, but I'm finishing in 8th after just getting promoted. Getting a clean race, no real major errors in that one too, no spin outs or anything. I'm happy enough with that. Feel like I might actually even belong in B if I keep it up. What time are we at? 20 past 11. Okay, we'll do one more race today and then we'll have to call it a night. Little less racing than usual tonight, just because I wanted to make sure I was a little bit prepared going into this B lobby, so I didn't just end up getting immediately demoted. I'd like a chance to kind of like work on my B rating and build it up now over the next week. And I've been having problems with this track, just consistency more than anything. The fact that I was on pole a record amount of times this week, possibly 20 times, and didn't get a single win, tells me this probably isn't my best track. Let's do a few ghost tree laps here. Bit of a trail there on the throttle, need to avoid that. Racing line feels good this time. Feel like I've gone into each apex about as close as I've ever done. That one could be definitely tighter. Still 902, not too bad. Wall contact. It's a shame. Need to stay on the brake a bit longer there. Okay, right before the 100. I hadn't corrected my steering enough. So way too much steering input as I went onto the throttle. ultimately it's because I went a bit wide. Saw that stop sign go past me, powered on the throttle. But because I was so wide, I had the steering input way too far to the left still. Hugo, my man, how you doing? Good to see you. Congrats on the new quali time, man. Well done. Am I trying to beat your quali time? No, I'm not that ambitious. I was working on it though, because I have gone up to B rank now. I've had one more race in B rank since and came 8th, so just trying to get some consistency back. Not really finding it. Again, too wide there. How have you been getting on a B rank? So, how have you been doing in B rank? Hugo responds, not good. Rage quit 2 times after being spun around. So, back in C, I think. Sorry to hear it, dude. Yeah, it's never really worth rage quitting. Like, even if you complete the race, it's not as bad a result as sticking to the end. Because you might have other people who rage quit, and you end up with the further up the grid than them, so... well, qualifying in 3rd here, even with my time, I'm happy with that. I was in 5th in my first race. All I'm aiming for here at the moment is just top 8 finishes. I don't have the pace. Last time I was in 8th for the bulk of the race, and the person in 7th managed to pull an extra 3 seconds ahead of me, and the person in 9th very nearly caught me at the end after I made 1 or 2 errors, but luckily managed to battle it out and hang on to it. So yeah, all I'm really aiming for here again is a top 8 finish, and to try to avoid any kind of race ending incidents. Are you racing yourself tonight, Hugo? So we got Eric behind us, that guy ahead of us. Hugo, yeah man, I'll start hopping on some races now. Best of luck. I'm just about to start one here, as you can see, so I'm gonna throw my focus onto that for a bit. I'll catch up with you after. Hugo says, in very high C, so hopefully he'll be racing me again soon. I hope so too, dude. Best of luck. I'll be head down now. Eric behind us seems to have a bit more pace. We'll try to keep the position for as long as we can without annoying him too much. Oh, incident ahead. A lot of British lads behind us. Got to give Eric a little bit of room there, which compromised my corner. There we got Skate 1209 right up our ass. Oh, we've gone wide there, which will cost us. But looks like Skate had to take some avoiding action, which worked in our favour. Okay, need to be careful here. So I have to try to keep it clean. Okay, can't see us keeping fourth for a whole lot longer given the pace of Skate behind us there. So I'll let him take the inside on this one. Bit of netcode nonsense happening there, I think. Got a nice buffer zone down to 9th at least. We're still in it with DB7 here. he's gone wide. Okay, there we go. Another 8th place finish. Relatively happy with that. Interestingly, I'll be curious to know what kind of happened behind, because the 9th place interval jumped between 4.5 down to 2.5 seconds and then back down to 4.5 seconds. So I guess somebody was pushing, had an incident, and then the gap just remained big for the rest of the race. And DB7, we were keeping pace with them for a tiny bit, about half a lap, but they pulled ahead pretty quickly again there. We had 1 or 2 mistakes. They remained in the slipstream of the car ahead of them, I think, and that just allowed them to pull ahead of us a good bit. Or maybe we don't have the pace. I'm happy with the consistency today, though. Like, I'm not having a lot of incidents like due to my own mistakes. Like, I'm not spinning out or anything, so happy enough with that. And 2 8th place finishes in a row here does make me feel like I at least remotely belong in B rank, even if it's a very, very small Dior gain that I'm getting from it. How about yourself, Hugo? Were you having a race there, or are you still just in quali time? You can see there from myself, I have a smidgen of B rank. I went up to B rank, had 2 races now, 2 8th place finishes, so hasn't really moved the needle much in either direction. See how you're doing, bud. Oh yeah, you'll be up to B again in no time. You're probably only 2 races away from it there. Although you do need to get your sportsmanship rating back up to S before you can progress. So you might need a few clean races in there too. Fell into that trap the week before as well. Either way, looks like you will be finishing the week, Hugo, with the fastest time of anyone on my friends list, so great job on that front. So unfortunately I was actually going to log there a second ago until you popped on, but given how the last 2 races have actually gone okay, I'm just going to keep the momentum going and have one more race before I call it quits for the evening. As it is 11:45 here, and I need to be up early tomorrow. Entering a race now. Nice one. Hugo says, if I do qualify any more, I'll go crazy. I'd say you probably had to put in a serious amount of time to get as good a time as you did, so congrats. Love that corner. Feels so satisfying. Just a little too wide again there. contact there. Ooh, way further down the grid this time. 8th place. Jeez. 3rd to 8th. Guess I'm just maybe a little more established in B rank now. Against more competitive drivers and times. Ah, Greasy Monkey. My old friend Luke, how you doing? Racing against one of our other friends here, Hugo. Luke, he was in the chat with you last time. He was on with me earlier. Goes by the handle Greasy Monkey. Anyway, Hugo, I assume you're jumping into a race here as well, so best of luck. Best of luck to you too, Luke, if you're watching this after the fact. Don't think you're in the chat anymore. Hugo says he's starting in 2nd. Nice. Yeah, I'm not surprised though with the time you have. So you'll be getting a few pole positions before the night's out. Hugo says, so let's keep it up there. Yeah, man. Best of luck. Back in B rank in no time. Alright, I'm diving in now. So I'll chat to you after. Have a quick catch up with you before I finish up. It's a bit aggro. to make sure we don't lose the pack here now. We got our pal Greasy Monkey right behind us, or Luke. I have a feeling there'll be an incident between these two ahead of us, so I need to hang back from them for a bit. Oh, he broke very late. That's it, go for it, Luke. Come on. Not a fan of those zero-sum dives. It's one thing if you're going into a corner and the person brakes about 20 meters too late and you've got nowhere else to go, but when it's calculated like that, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Okay. And he is pushing us around. That's not on now. Okay, I'm getting flustered. I need to just keep my head now, see if I can catch up to Gixxer D there in 14th. Hope our buddy Luke is doing a bit better. Ooh. He must have gone off a bit there. Ooh, bit of wall contact. Past him here. It's gone a bit wide. I need to do a bit better than that now. I'm gonna get another overtake done before the end of the race. Oh, there we go. How many laps do we have left? 2. Wonder if we are gaining on Shank or not. In the grass there. No, looks like we're getting another place for free. Wide. Need to nail this now. Ah, too wide, too wide. Ah, it's a shame. It's probably our best chance of catching him before the end of the race. It's just getting some pace on the straight here. Did a good bit better there. Got about 2-3 tenths back there. Good and early. Could have been a lot worse, all things considered. And wow, our friend Luke, Greasy Monkey, up in 6th. Well done, dude. Fairly sure we practically swapped positions there. Him starting in 12th, me in 8th. Me finishing in 12th, him in 6th. Some good racing. I'll save the replay of that one. And we have Hugo back in. Stayed in 2nd. Nice job, man. That's a good result. That probably has you back up in B rank, right? Save the replay and give a shout out to me bud Luke. CT08, Dark Knight, Dirty Driver. Who's Dark Knight? Somebody who didn't do too well anyway. Or? Oh, winner. Okay. Can see what happened there. Clean race bonus must be the best feeling in the world. Why are you not getting many of them yourself? Or are you just saying they are the best feeling in the world? I unfortunately had a little blip in my all points finishes evening. It's my first finish outside of 8th place there tonight. But bound to happen eventually, and you know, overall I feel like we gave a good account of ourselves there in that last race. Just had somebody driving a bit too aggro behind me. Gave me a bit of a pit maneuver, and it was just kind of into damage recovery mode from there, but dropped down to 15th, managed to recover 3 positions out of it, so it could be a lot worse. Hugo says, not getting that many clean races, that is, but sometimes I just can't understand why I don't get it. It's not always to do with contact, it's sometimes to do with hitting walls, leaving track, things like that can affect it as well. And even moves that are considered clean and teamwork, like bump drafts, can also affect your safety rating, so it's not always reflective of whether you're making contact or bad contact with other drivers or not. So let's see. So if I remember right, I lost a bunch of positions almost right away because I had to hard brake to avoid Rich Obs there. Didn't give me any room on the inside. I had to hit the brakes to make sure I didn't spin him, and before I knew it I'd lost the 2 positions there. A little bit dive bomby from me, but to be honest I was just trying to avoid contact with him. But he kind of went in on top of me there. Not much I can do about that really. Now, where were we when things got a bit spicier? So we had our pal Luke ahead of us there. I was hoping to work with him a bit, but then I jacked the clipper, kind of make that aggro dive at me. Let's see that again. Not sure what happened to CJ. He went into the dirt. Yeah, good move by Jack. It's fair enough. You can see he's right on my nose here, so he's going to get around me no matter what happened, really. So I took the inside here, trying to be defensive. Or did I? No, I didn't. Oh, that's it there. 2 bits of contact. 3rd, 4th, yeah. Not the cleanest bit of racing that now, Jackie boy. Now, particularly at this point, he was rear-ended himself, I guess, to be fair. Yeah, it's just ultimately, like, I'm guilty of doing this myself, but he broke a bit too late. Used me as a safety cushion. Got rear-ended himself, and then unfortunately that ruined most of my race. But due to a few incidents and just a bit of pace, I was able to overtake Gixxer D ahead of me, and then there were a couple of yellow flags that worked in my favour that gave me a few positions back, so I ended up finishing in 12th. But great. Let's see. Just run my roulettes here. I take it you're diving back into another race now, Hugo, I take it? Couldn't expect much more from a 3-star ticket. Dangle that million in your face. We've looped back in. Good race. Yeah, you too, man. Flick back through the stream. You'll catch up with what you missed. But yeah, great result for you. I think you started in 12th, did you? Really earning your stripes in the B rank there. I know you were gone for a bit there, Luke, focusing on your own racing. So as you see, yeah, climbed up to B rank myself. That was my third race. First two I finished in 8th. Wasn't too bad. Happy enough with that to not concede any driver rating points. That one, just a couple of incidents at the start kind of dropped me down a position or two. Nothing big, but then, yeah, unfortunately I had one kind of race damaging incident that knocked me back into 15th, but managed to recover 3 spaces from there. Yourself, yeah, gotten into 6th and hanging on to it. Great job, man. So I'm actually going to do one thing that I have always meant to do and always forget to do, but I'm going to do it now while it's all still fresh and before I log off. Circuit experience. I don't actually have gold in any of them yet, but I reckon it's probably at its most doable around the time that I finish a daily race week in one of them. So where were we again? Oh, it's a different course. Ah, it's funny, I thought that was the A layout we were in. Sardinia Windmills? Is there a separate course entirely, I wonder, for Sardinia? There is. Sardinia Road Track. Here we go. Oh wow. Put us in an LMP1, this would be a very different course. Just give this a quick spin at the 1 lap attack. This is so much faster. And with later braking markers. Ooh, spin out. Let's give this one more try because I am exhausted and in a hurry to go to bed. Yeah, it's a whole other animal in this car. Need to adjust my force feedback settings here, as you can see it shaking me arms. Ah, I'm addicted. One more. One more. I swear, one more. Hugo, Luke, I'm guessing you're both starting another race now, so best of luck with it, lads. Hope it goes well for you. Yeah, it's the furthest we've gotten. Far off a goal time anyway. Okay lads, this has to be the last time. Just lost the rear there. Ooh, just shy of silver. Bit of work to do, so definitely not used to that machinery on this track. Well, at least we got something. Alright, Luke, Hugo, thanks for tuning in again, lads. Appreciate it more than you could possibly know. It was a great session tonight. Much more kind of solid and consistent racing, even if I was a little bit off the pace. But yeah, feeling like B rank is starting to be where I belong anyway. Just need to do a bit of training now. So this might be my last proper at least daily races stream before Christmas. Got the kids at home now over the next 2 weeks, so I won't have the same amount of time I usually do and a few more earlier mornings than I'm used to. So I'm going to try get on for a couple streams anyway, but it might not be as scheduled or for as long as usual. I'm actually thinking of doing something a little different. I've been looking at some training kind of videos on things I can work on, so I might actually do a stream on one of those, and I might even do a few streams on some of these one lap attacks, see if I can get my first few kind of goals under my belt as well. But anyway, again, Hugo, Luke, thanks for watching, and for anybody watching after the fact, thanks for tuning in. This is Puka GT, I'm Clark, and I hope you have a good Christmas. Thanks.